And we're back. When last we left, Matches was deciding what savory snack he would eat. And Shannon was deciding, should I get some too? You're eating sweet corn.
They're really good. Yeah.
Sweet corn. That sounds like
sweet corn.
Why does that sound like a pimp? You need to talk to sweet corn if you want to know my process.
I talk to sweet corn.
Sweet corn comes up and he's like really nice, but there's something vicious and bitter behind that.
Could be.
He'll butter you up. What's up, Matches?
Hey, what's up, Shannon?
How's it going? Hey, how's it going? Before we start everything, I would just like you to know that you are currently listening or watching the show known as drumroll
NOMS podcast, Shannon.
What?
Are you wearing the t-shirt of the show you're currently on?
I mean, what's wrong with that? I'm that guy.
We don't even make merch. Where did you even get that?
I bought it at Hot Topic. Okay. Actually, I bought it at the store next to it. It was called Cold Subject.
Okay. Do you think they had a lot of rip-off shirts?
They did. I got some spiky shoes. They were nice. I got some P-Box. Let's see some Tommy Hilfiger. Which, by the way, that is what my dad called Tommy Hilfiger forever. I think he was kidding.
Really?
He's like, Mama got me some Tommy Hilfiger jeans. They're real nice.
Like you're going to Target instead of
I
Target.
know, right? Yeah, I went to the mall next to the mall. No, yeah. I have this lovely NOMS shirt.
That was a van.
What's that?
That was a van. That was not a mall.
I wondered why it kept moving. Why there was a clown there. That was weird.
That's how they get you.
That's true. Can I say something real quick? My son, Groot, I'm not worried. He's not going to listen to the podcast. When he was little, in his little daycare class, they had a day or two where they would discuss stranger danger. Obviously. Okay. And they'd be like, okay, so what if someone comes up to you that you don't know and they say, I have a puppy over here, would you like to come see the puppy? And they all went, I'd like to see the puppy. They were like 3-4 years old. And then they were like, okay. What if a stranger comes up and says, I have a toy for you in my car over here. Come see it. And I believe my son and a few others were like, well, what is the toy? Do I have it already? Do I need to? I think it took them a few months to realize, no, don't do that.
Only 3 of those kids graduated then.
No, that's terrible. Of course, my wife says that I would go with the kidnapper for a cheeseburger. I don't know.
Oh.
But you know what I mean?
As long as they actually give you the cheeseburger, anything goes.
I mean, you win, right? You win if you get the cheeseburger. Of course, knowing me, I'd probably yell shotgun before we got to the car. If there were 2 or 3 kidnappers, he says shotgun. Yeah. He says shotgun. Yep. Shotgun is a very powerful tool. How many times have you yelled shotgun and it doesn't hold sway?
Well, if there was like somebody that said it about the same time as you, they might have to, decide who was first.
Right. Because sometimes you'll be in a situation where no one says it and you feel a little bit like a jerk, but you're also like, well, I'm just being safe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Most of the time, I just assumed I was going to be riding in the back, Yeah. Yeah. But that's back when I was the size of my pinky. I was very I remember one time, and I can say this now because the cops can't find us, but back in 1993, there were about 7 or 8 of us rolling in a car to El Dorado, Arkansas. We used as many seatbelts as we could, but we were rolling 7 deep in that car.
Oh, wow.
And it was not an Oldsmobile. It was...
They were this big.
I know. They even joked about that. They're like, oh, don't worry about Shannon. We can put him on the dash.
Wow.
We can put Shannon in the glove compartment.
How things have changed.
Oh, yes. I am the entire front seat now.
Oh, no. And the little seat beside it.
And the little seat beside it and a little bit of the steering wheel.
Nice.
I have to open a window. You meanie.
It's like, it's like, I forgot. Anyway.
Oh, you had it. I had it.
It's gone.
Oh, I bet it was great, though. Well, before we start the show, I want to say, shotgun! Sorry, Matches.
You're in the driver's seat for where I'm sitting, so.
Dadgummit, you are in the driver's seat. I'll stay in the trunk. I'm fine. Just give me some food. By the way, have you ever seen, on the subject, have you ever seen that Fresh Pet commercial? You know, the dog food you could put in your fridge. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Have
what
you
you're
seen
talking
the
about.
Mafia one? That one's hilarious.
Yes, I have seen that. And I was like, did they just like off a guy?
I think they murdered a guy because he didn't approve of Fresh Pet.
Totally whacked a guy because he didn't approve. Yeah,
I mean, it's one thing to kick your mom out of your, housewarming party, and it's
Yeah, I
another
was
thing
watching that and I couldn't believe it. Like, I
I
switched
know!
my Hulu to the ads, not the ad supported tier afterwards. No.
I never want to see this again.
Again.
Oh man! Oh gosh, we're both getting choked up. It's so emotional.
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking of emotional, as you are wondering, what the heck is this rambling nonsense that somehow sounds so soothing to my ear, like ear candy, like sweet corn, right? We are NOMS. We are Nerd Down with Matches and Shannon. We are a podcast.
We're nerding out
Yeah. Ooh,
with Matches and Shannon.
Nerding out. We are a podcast that discusses movies, and we don't just discuss any movies. We discuss movies that were exclusively reviewed by the two people who will always have shotgun in our heart. 2 thumbs up. Who's that, Matches?
The two guys on your shirt. Wait, no, it's Siskel
Kyle Gass and
Ebert.
well, Kyle Gass and I don't know who would this guy be.
Oh, let's see. It looks like kind of like John Krasinski with the beard and glasses.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could be John
If he could
Candy
grow
if
a
he
beard,
survived
that's
and
what it would
got
look like.
bald. Do what?
Oh yeah. I said if John Krasinski could actually grow a beard. I don't know if he can.
I swear I've seen him with one. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Quiet Place.
Maybe. I don't know. But when he was Reed Richards and
Yes.
yeah, he had a big beard, didn't he?
He did, and we thought we were going to get him for the movie. I do love Pedro Pascal. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But Pedro's in everything.
Yeah, well, he's also playing Sue and the Thing and the Human Torch and Doctor Doom and Galactus. The Silver
He plays
Surfer.
Ellie in The Last of Us,
He is playing. He's playing both parts.
Yes.
Are we gonna have too much Pascal?
They just give him big chibi eyes and stuff.
We're gonna have Pedro Lash. That's what we're gonna have, Pedro Lash.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm afraid we will, but he's so good.
You gotta love Pedro Pascal. Yeah, he hasn't worn out his welcome yet with me.
No, he's good.
No.
He's really good.
When Bad Bunny hosted Saturday Night Live a few years ago, Bad Bunny, his first language, not English, but they used all of that to its effect, and him and Pedro Pascal played two Mexican moms, two Latino moms, who are disapproving of their, of one of the sons' relationship. It was hilarious. And Bad Bunny would lean over and he'd be like, como dice, a side chick.
Wow.
Yeah, good stuff.
Years ago, before I'd even heard a Bad Bunny song or of him or anything, he was like #1 on Spotify. Like, with tens of millions, billions or something, and like listens. And I was like, who is this? Like, he's making millions off Spotify every day.
Yes. And here's the thing, and I don't mean this rude or ignorant. I don't think any of his songs are in English, which they don't have to. No, because K-pop is huge in America. And most of those bands don't do English. Like BTS would do
that could be other countries too, but like, I'm sure a lot of other countries, plus this country, gets that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of Spanish-speaking people in America, and I think that's great. I like Bad Bunny stuff. I don't know what he's saying sometimes, but I love it.
He's got a good beat. He sounds like he's got good flow.
Yeah. I will say this. My lovely wife, who also will probably not watch this show, she says for some reason she knows who Bad Bunny is, but every time she hears the name Bad Bunny, she thinks of a cartoon bunny like Jessica Rabbit, but like a bunny.
Yeah, but bad.
I'm the Bad Bunny.
I'm totally
well, if you're
drawn
good
that
bunnies, you're going to... What was that?
I just said I'm totally drawn that way.
Totally. Well, speaking of the 80s, that is where we're going tonight. Now, usually on NOMS, we will do a movie that most of you probably know, a movie that we grew up watching or watched in high school or college, or for me, 17 years of college. They're called doctors. And we'll do a movie that's pretty well known. But you decided to throw a little wrench in it, right? To hit the brakes.
Yeah, well, Siskel Ebert, they talked about all kinds of movies, not just the popular movies. I think that's what got people to watch them. Actually, I think they preferred the like the critic approved movies, and that kind of thing. So,
Sure.
yeah, if you go read the reviews from their websites or whatever from the newspapers are completely different than their bite-sized like candy of reviews on the TV show. Yeah,
Sure, because they
really
only had
had that formula down. Yeah, they had the formula down so people would watch it, and they did every week. It was very quick.
And I know they did some independent movies that I never would have heard of if I hadn't seen their show.
Exactly. Yeah.
But tonight is not an independent movie, but it is a movie that I'm going to pretty much guess and guarantee a lot of our audience may not know or remember. It was a forgotten 80s
I was
film.
hoping that Shannon didn't know it or hadn't seen it, but he just hadn't seen it. He did know it. Yeah.
No, but I remember seeing the trailers for this movie and seeing the VHS in the rental place.
Yeah.
We are doing, is it 1988?
Yeah, and it's an odd mismatch of actor and singers.
It is an odd mismatch of
eccentric, fine actors and great pop singers from the 80s.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Right?
Peter Falk.
1988.
Well, we are doing the movie called
Vibes.
Vibes. That's right. Starring Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. And Jeff Goldblum. And a whole bunch of other people who you would look at and go, oh, I know that guy. What's his name? Yeah.
I know that girl. What's her name?
Exactly. Like Peter Falk.
I think it's Falk.
Columbo.
You might know him as Columbo.
Oh, he's the best. Columbo is so cool.
Yes. And he also, if he wasn't playing Columbo, he was usually playing a lot of mafia guys. He had that kind of,
Yeah, people love this guy. Apparently, across the internet, this character he played,
from this movie.
Yeah, they love him. They wanted it to go to like a TV series where they all together, solve mysteries and use their psychic powers. I could see it. I'm down with that. I could just kind of change it a little bit, just a little bit.
That sounds like the equivalent of Stanley from The Office trying to spin his character off. It's like, which he did. It's like we liked you there.
Well, this movie was described as romancing the Ghostbusters in the Temple of Doom.
You took that from, but you know what? I actually got 2 of those when I was watching this movie for the first time ever this weekend. I didn't get the Ghostbusters thing except for maybe the psychic, supernatural. Yeah. But basically, the 80s, let's explain the 80s for people who don't remember. I know Becca Licious does. The 80s.
Colonialism is a good word to look up, folks.
Yeah, sure. It was a good bread name. Yeah, good bread brand. No, the thing about some 80s movies, and not all 80s movies, in the 80s, they really exploded with the supernatural and the unknown and the new age, and there have been movies like that in the past a little, but I believe the 80s might have been one of the first few times to push it into a comedy film, except for maybe Abbott and Costello Meet the Wolfman and Frankenstein, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not
great,
horror.
But not the same thing, yeah.
No. I mean, we had Ghostbusters.
You also had movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark or Romancing the Stone. That's what we were saying.
Yes, well, this movie to me brought out Temple of Doom and Romancing the Stone for sure. It's a movie about psychics. And in the 80s, like I said, the new age, psychic, that was all the rage. It was very cool. It was kind of new. People were like, what is this unknown? Let's see if we can laugh at it. Yeah. And Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum are 2 psychics. She's a medium who has a spirit with her all the time named Louise. Her name is Sylvia Pickell.
Yeah, not Pickle.
Not Pickle. That was the first joke I laughed at in the movie. Not Pickle, it's Pickell.
Yeah, and then the guy's name. What was his name?
Nick Deasy.
She called him Winair or
No, he was Nick Deasy. I think Winair was that Julian Sands' character? We'll get into that. I can't remember.
No, whatever. They were right across from each other. He's like, it's Weiner or something like that.
Oh, okay. No, Jeff Goldblum's character was Nick Deasy, which is hilarious.
Yeah, Nick Deasy, yeah.
And when she first meets him, she calls him Stretcheroo. Yeah. And he's like, well, hold on. First, I don't like where this is going. First, Stretcheroo. What's next? Stretch mark?
Yeah, and his powers are pretty cool because he can touch an object. He knows where that object's been, what's been going on with it. You can touch your hand, maybe. Does it work that way, probably?
I don't know if it works on people. It definitely works on objects. I believe they call that psychometry.
Okay.
Or psychometry.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
but you know what?
Ready to get into this?
Let's get some sound effects going, and then we'll talk about this movie as it progresses. Are you ready to feel the vibes?
I'm ready to feel the vibes, y'all. Straight back.
Oh, here we go. We're going back. Satisfied. That's right. This is a very 80s film. And by that, I mean, there were some movies in the 80s that you would watch, and I was a kid in the 80s. You were a kid in the 80s. You were a little bit younger than me, even. Mm-hmm. And as a kid, you would see something happen, something that would just be disjointed or not work or not explained, and you'd be like, "Yeah," because you were a kid. You didn't know about plots. You didn't know about writing. No.
And in the 80s, there could be holes everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There were a lot of things that happened in the 80s, but they're like, you know what? Let's just put that out there and see if the audience doesn't care about this not being explained or this not making any sense.
They didn't have time. They ran out of time. They ran out of money. They're just like,
right?
Throw it to the wind.
Or characters that are introduced that you think are important, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
That aren't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is about two psychics who are, they are very highly respected in their gifts. And there's a guy played by Julian Sands, who's a doctor who is trying to recruit them for some kind of study and stuff. But instead, they take the offer of Peter Falk playing Harry Butterfosco or something, Bufasco or Butterfuco, Butterfinger.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Yeah. They take his offer because he wants to find his missing son in Ecuador. That's what he tells them. Yeah. And
for $50,000, I might.
For $50,000, that's right. Yes. And Jeff Goldblum at first doesn't want to do it, but he's working a job at a museum where he's being used by like every coworker and his boss. Yes.
Yeah, there were some pretty like imaginative things here, I thought. Like the guy comes up with the fish he got from the cafeteria.
Yes.
They said it's fresh, but I don't think it is. Will you touch this to see where it's been? His hand on,
well, I was going to say there's some great one-liners because one guy's trying to get him to touch his car to see if it really is like in good value.
The mileage hasn't been rolled back,
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I see. You won't touch my car, but you'll feel his fish."
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, small note on that guy, the security guard who comes up with the fish. That minuscule man, I don't know the actor's name, but for me, he was most well known as the character Bubba from Sanford and Son.
Oh, wow.
Well, I grew up watching the show. Yeah, Grady, Bubba, on Esther.
Great.
Good time.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So, Jeff Goldblum was being used by his boss, by the way, played by the guy who plays Weeze's suitor in Steel Magnolias.
Wow.
I can't remember the name of the character or the actor's name. He wasn't in a whole lot, but he had a very distinctive face.
He's the one with the Swedish type accent or something going on?
No. That you're confusing it. That's another psychic. That is Ingo Swedlin.
Exactly. Okay.
A very 80s Swedish accent. He's like, I'm very, like I like to yump. I like to do yumping yaks, that kind of thing. Yeah, basically these group of psychics meet for studies, and Julian Sands is like the head of it, because he's trying to, you find out later in the movie what he's trying to use their gifts for.
Yeah.
And that guy who plays Ingo Swedlin is an actor named, I kid you not, Googie Gress.
What?
And Googie Gress. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, I've seen that guy in everything. And you haven't, because he looks like an actor you've seen in everything. Like, you might think, isn't he Norm Macdonald's friend and one of Billy Madison's sidekick in Billy Madison? Oh. No, that's not him. That's not.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I see it in my head. Yeah.
But he has tiny parts in so many well-known movies. He was in Armageddon as one of the technical people who turn around and yell something from the screen. Uh-huh. You might know him from the Parenthood TV show where he was on 5 episodes as a character named Jeff.
Okay.
I didn't watch it, but that's what I heard. He was on Ed TV, Blue Streak, Frost Nixon, of all. But to me, he'll always be the guy from Wayne's World 2. When they try to get backstage with Aerosmith, because they have backstage passes, but not the, they get stuck with the nerds. And Wayne's girlfriend gets taken by Chris Walken back there, and he closes the gate. And he's like, dude, you got to let me in. My girlfriend's back there. He's like, hey, a lot of guys' girlfriends are back there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's that guy, yeah. He also was the star of a short-lived USA show that you might remember in 99 called Good vs. Evil.
Sounds familiar.
About people who died and were resurrected to stop demons from taking over.
Oh, I remember that, but I never saw it.
Yeah. Because one of the demons was played by Emmanuel Lewis, playing himself. And they blew him up.
Webster?
Apparently, he had been a demon. That's why he hadn't gotten any bigger. They explained it.
Man, that's sad.
It's so sad. But yeah, Googie Gress is that guy's name. I first saw him on a TV movie called Babes in Toyland with Drew Barrymore and Keanu Reeves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? He's everywhere. But I digress. So this movie was not a hit by any means. I think it bombed. But I remember seeing the trailer like on TV all the time in '88, and it was one
Really?
of those like wacky, like, oh, what are they doing? They're touching stuff. Jeff Goldblum, Cyndi Lauper, she's so unusual.
I expected Cyndi Lauper to be just a bad actress.
I was gonna say that. Go ahead.
Yeah. And
But-
I mean, everything about this movie is pretty mid. Like,
Yeah, I will say
the
there are
script
some
is
really,
not great.
There's some funny lines.
Yeah. there
But
are some
the
funny
acting
lines.
is good. Like Jeff Goldblum and Cyndi Lauper are very good in their parts. Like
Yeah,
Goldblum,
they did everything they could do with this.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
because Goldblum has a couple speeds. One of them is, really fast. Oh no.
Yeah.
And then the other one is sort of reserved, but like dry funny, and that's what he
Yeah.
is in this movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
but
And then, she has that. I mean, that's her real accent on screen. That's not
Yes.
put on. And
But-
she did it fairly well, man. I think she was great.
Yeah. It's not as like up to 11 as her like on stage persona, as her music
Yeah, yeah.
persona. Because you
Yeah.
think she'd be like, hey, how you doing the whole time?
Yeah.
But she's not. She's like,
No.
like in the middle. She does a really good job for this being, I would say, her only starring role.
Yeah. I don't think this movie should have been like her nail in the coffin for not being able to do this again. Like,
Well,
What-
she has shown up in other movies, and she was actually on a couple TV shows. I think she was on Mad About You for a couple episodes, and
okay.
yeah,
She was on
tons of other
Bones.
things. And hey, she wrote the musical Kinky Boots, so she's done pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I
apparently,
actually love Cyndi Lauper a
Oh.
lot. I like her old songs so much. Like,
yeah, she's
Yeah,
good
she's
enough. She is good enough. Real quick, off the topic. Do you know she has a cameo in the Goonies? I don't even remember her being in the Goonies. Do you remember
I
seeing
want
her
to
in the
say last
Goonies?
time I watched it, maybe I realized it, but I can't remember.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it again now that I know, knowing what I
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Mhm.
I want to see what Siskel and Ebert thought of this movie. I feel like they're not gonna like it because, like I said, there's some really funny lines and funny stuff
Yeah.
in this movie. It's just, it's not written well, and it's
No.
not put together well because they want it to be a comedy, a little romantic
Yeah.
comedy. They
Yeah.
also want a little supernatural Ghostbustery, Indiana
Yeah.
Jones thing. They want Romancing the Stone. They want adventure, and they're like, okay, you know how like when some people cook certain recipes, and it's okay,
Yeah.
like chicken and dumplings at Cracker Barrel, delicious.
Yeah.
Chicken and dumplings at the Dixie Diner, terrible soup.
Huh.
It's okay. They're all
I would've-
closed down now. I can say
I would have
that.
thrown that the other way, but that's okay.
No, Cracker Barrel's great.
No,
I mean,
no,
not
no.
as good as my mom's, but
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah. So I want to see what they thought about that. What do you think they thought?
I hope they don't give the two lead actors in this just flack, for this movie being bad.
It
That's what
wasn't
I
their
hope.
fault. It was,
Yeah, it's not their fault, and I hope they realize that. That where they could be like, they are so awful in this movie. I can't believe
they
it.
are the reason that films shouldn't be made sometimes.
Yeah, and I can see that happening, but
Why can't
we'll
it be
have
the
to
money
see, and I'm
pit?
really, really curious what they said.
I am. And again, you've never heard of this movie.
No, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I've heard of the two lead actors. That's why I chose this movie this week. Because I was like, it's got Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum in it, and a host of other people, of course.
Yeah.
But what?
You said that it's kind of a cult classic to people, but like, I remember the trailers. I remember seeing the video at the video store and just thinking, I might want to see that. And then like a couple decades went by and I forgot about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it looked strange. Well, it looked like something I would think was fun, but yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be an interesting one, I think.
Yeah.
Well, are you ready to see what Siskel and Ebert thought about shakes?
I'm real scared here.
All right, here we go. We're going to talk about Tremors. Oh wait, that's a better
All
movie.
right,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna share the screen.
Here we
in
go.
search of a South
Vivess.
American city of gold. The psychics are played by Cyndi Lauper, who gets a message from a girlfriend from the next world, and Jeff Goldblum, who can touch things and tell what's happened to them and where they've been.
And take an object and tell you where it's been, who's come in contact with
Any
it.
money in that? Doll, fetus.
No, not directly.
I found both.
I was trying to remember something that happened in the that before in that scene.
Oh, there were a couple things like Jeff Goldblum. They give him a bunch of knives,
Yeah, the
touch.
knives thing. Yeah, that's
and
good.
one of them
Okay.
murdered someone. One of the knives did, And then he puts his hand on the table. He goes, someone had sex on this table. And the male and female scientists both go, that's all, we're done.
Yeah, it was them. Their eyes got so wide.
They did. Yep. Oh, and well, there is something before this. The group of psychics they're with include Park Overall. And if you don't remember her, then you never saw Empty Nest in the 90s and the 80s.
Exactly.
She played Harry's nurse, and she was known for having a real...
I didn't even recognize her in this. Okay.
You didn't?
No, I don't know why. Maybe
she has such a distinct, like, hey, y'all kind of voice, you know?
Oh, she really does, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, hey, how you doing? You know, bless your heart. She has a brief role as a psychic who apparently can predict TV shows if they're going to be flops or hits. So she works for a network. Yep. And then one of the guys at the table can apparently move objects with his mind, but it hurts. And he moves an ashtray, and someone says, he's married to a former Miss Universe, and he goes, ashtrays aren't the only thing I can move. And then there's Googie Gress, who, and by the way, this movie starts off with a Ghostbusters connection. They're doing the cards. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, that's
true. Bill Murray is doing at the beginning of Ghostbusters. When we see him, he's trying to get people to see what the shape is on the other side of the car. Same cards. Same cards.
Yeah, that was actually something they used back in the day.
Yeah, okay, so they didn't have any variations. They're like, it's the same cards. Yeah. All right, did you want to add anything before we see why Columbo has his hands up?
Let's see. Let's see if they show us.
One more question there, Lopa.
Oh, yeah,
one more thing.
Both the characters and the performance is boring, and the same holds true for the usually likable Peter Falk playing a con man who tries to use Cyndi Lauper's powers for his personal gain.
Why'd you break into my apartment?
Because I was afraid to stand in the hallway carrying what I'm carrying.
Yeah?
$50,000. And it's all yours if you do a job for me.
It's so obvious to read what Falk is up to. Of course, Jeff Goldblum goes along for the ride, and he slowly gets the idea, very slowly gets the idea, that Falk is a fake.
This isn't your son's shirt.
Sure it is.
No. This shirt's only been worn by one man, an older man, much too old to be your son.
Did I say my son? No. I'm sorry. I'm his son. It's my father that's missing, Harry Sr.
I like how they like him so much, like especially Cyndi Lauper. Like he's kind of a con guy, but he's got a heart of gold. You know, he's not a bad guy. I don't think
he's not a bad guy. He's a con artist, but he is sort of. I guess he's sort of been in charge of searching for this lost city of gold. Because we can talk about the opening of the movie after this. You know, he was involved with that, and he recruits them, and he's hitting on Cyndi Lauper every 5 lines. Have you noticed that?
Oh gosh, yeah, that little bit, yeah.
And another thing about Cyndi Lauper's character, she is man hungry. Am I right in saying that?
Oh yeah. She's
boy crazy.
Oh yeah, that's her character, literally.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with him though. I don't think the performances are lazy or bad.
No,
that's the only thing that held my attention.
What they had to work with.
That's right.
They played their characters just the way they were written. You know,
they made diamonds out of cubic zirconium.
Yep, it's true. All right.
Let's see how they tear it apart, which I thought they would.
Only a few jokes work, and that's stunning because Falk and Goldblum are obviously talented actors who have pleased us so many times, but not here. The storyline is obvious. The script is virtually without laughs, and the echo of a much better similar film, Romancing the Stone, is always with us while we're watching Vibes, a film that I really think can be described as quite awful.
Yep. I wouldn't say quite awful. I would say very awful. You see, there's a slight distinction there. This movie is bad.
Yep.
Dang.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
No.
But, I mean, these people have feelings, you know?
They tried as my mom said, they tried their heart out, okay?
It's true. Yeah, that's how I feel whenever they just like dog a movie or something like that. I'm just like, that was okay.
Totally. I know it's like I know what you want to say, but maybe you should hold that back a little.
Yeah, no matter how I felt about it watching it, I want to defend it now.
That's so funny. You did
Sad
your
thing
best.
about it is the setup, the first 5 or 10 minutes,
5 minutes,
are promising, where they have all of these psychics who can do different things. Goldblum has certain skills, Cyndi Lauper has skills, other.
You're right. That was the best part of the whole movie, probably.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd see all those guys again, but we only see them in Googie
guys. There's this Teutonic guy.
And if they had stayed in the psychic lab and investigated the comic possibilities of different people, all of them weirdos who have different kinds of psychic talents, might have been fun. Everything that happens in South America is utterly, I'm going to say ludicrous, but that makes it sound like fun. It's just utterly a waste of time.
It's romancing the stone. I mean,
it is. Yeah.
I mean, is there such a thing as theft? That's theft.
Wow, all right.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, that was a clip from Roger Ebert's band, The Reviewers, with a Z.
Exactly.
Oh, man. You know, I don't disagree. It is ludicrous without being like, ludicrous or like ludicrous with like, stand back. You don't know me like that. Stand back.
That's right.
Not that ludicrous. No. I mean,
no, this movie is quite terrible.
It is, but like you said, we want to give it the benefit of the doubt. So maybe we say something like my mom would always say to people who sing bad, "You've never sounded better."
Yeah. I mean, if you like Jeff Goldblum and Peter Falk and Cyndi Lauper even, or whoever in this movie, you're gonna love their performance in this, and you're gonna have a nice time. It's not the worst in the whole world, but I think anyone could see it and think for themselves, Yeah.
Well, I would put it this way: if this had aired, and I never saw this on cable or any of that, but if this had aired on cable in the 90s or the early 2000s on a Sunday afternoon on TBS or USA, I probably would have watched it.
Yeah.
I can't say I would want to watch it over and over again, but like I said, there are some funny lines in this movie, and Cyndi Lauper, surprisingly good. Like, she makes her character work. She's man crazy.
Siskel Ebert still had reach, maybe not as big as they did, toward the 90s and stuff, but they still had reach. Like, they could literally destroy your movie or you.
Yeah, or you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Hey, that's true because Peter Falk is dead. Michael Lerner's dead. Julian. Oh my gosh, they killed so many people with this review.
Too soon.
Too soon. We'll talk about Julian Sands
last year. Yeah.
Way too soon.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He was so good at everything.
Oh yes. So the beginning of this movie, like I said, I kind of agree with Siskel and Ebert. It's bad, but is it enjoyably bad to some degree?
I don't even know if you could make fun of it like an MST3K type thing. I don't think it's that bad.
Well, wacky comedies are they're hard to pull off sometimes. Yeah, because sometimes if it's not funny, it feels strained.
Yeah.
Like some 80s comedies are strained. They can play the wacky music like da 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 da, and he's making a cake, but it's not funny. or again, other aspects of 80s comedies, yelling, running, just stuff like that. I don't know why I think of 80s comedies when I think of that, but those were elements and like supernatural elements that in this movie don't get explained very well. Matches, there's something different about you. Did you get replaced with a stunt double?
No, nothing's wrong.
Were you wearing a Scooby-Doo hat before?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I need to get my eyes checked. I just had a birthday last week. What was I saying? No, sorry.
Oh, no.
Louise, help me. Louise. So Louise is the name. I don't know if I mentioned it. Louise's name is Sylvia's psychic little friend.
That's what I was going to say. They never show these spirits. It's just always them talking to them. And it just gets dumb after a while.
You think they didn't have the budget? Yeah, she's always talking to Louise.
At one point, she's in this in the astral plane or whatever, and he can see her, and he's talking to her, but you don't hear her back. You don't see her.
Right. And like Julian Sands is really trying to recruit mainly Jeff Goldblum and Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, I could see this as a play or something going somewhere. Like I was watching, I was like, this would be really good as a play.
We got to talk about. Okay, I can see it. What do we do, Nick? I don't know. Well, we got to talk about the beginning of this movie. So, like you said, right away it hits you with the Indiana Jones romancing the stone vibe because you've got these three men marching up a hill in Ecuador.
Up a mountain, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Two Americans and their guide, Juan. And of course, Juan is always there first before they are. Have you noticed that? Like, Juan's not even sweating. And the two guys, I don't know the one actor who plays the one, but I know the other was played by Michael Lerner, who we've talked about on the show. He was in Elf. He was in tons of movies. He was nominated for Barton Fink. Michael Lerner was great. He was funny. He could be scary and serious. He was also in one of the Maniac Cop movies, but we won't hold that against him. And his brother is well beloved by us, Sam Lerner, as the father-in-law in Goldbergs, but mostly for Principal Flutie from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Bless his heart.
He got 8.
Yeah,
He got
the
8
kids ate
bad.
him. The kids ate
By
him so bad.
human hyenas. Oh, so bad. But
Good
anyway,
thing
so
Xander
Michael
can't
Lerner...
remember that.
I forgot about it. So Michael Lerner and the other guy, they get to this pyramid and they're unearthing the rocks. And Juan is really nervous, okay? And Juan's like, no. And the one guy, instead of saying, calm down, Juan, it'll be okay, he shoots him. He just takes out a gun. Juan, boom. Yep. Juan falls off the pyramid dead. And you're like, it's the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy had like he wasn't even psychotic. He was just casually like, oh, Juan, told you we should have told him to go home.
Yeah, the whole time they're looking for the City of Gold, like the lost Incan City of Gold.
Yeah, that's what Harry's wanting. And he had sent them there because Michael Lerner was like his partner. And then the other guy puts his hand on the pyramid and starts speaking this. Is it even a human language?
I don't know. It's an old language, apparently.
It sure is, yeah.
I think it's but do we say that this thing is glowing? This
It is glowing. It's glowing, and
he's white. Yeah.
And he is starting to fade away, and it shoots Michael Lerner with the written on the screen, special effects. How they used to do those kind of special effects.
Yeah, that's weird.
Knocks him out. Yeah. Knocks him out, and he's pretty much, the next time you see him, he's in the booby hatch. He's in the crazy house. He's babbling and stuff. And so Peter Falk is not really trying. I mean, he knows where his partner is. He doesn't know where the other partner is. That guy never gets mentioned again.
Yeah,
he just
that's true.
faded.
He's gone. Yeah,
He's gone. Okay, but he wasn't very nice because he killed Juan.
It's true. The other guy was like, "You shouldn't have killed him." He didn't tell us what's going on.
He's like, "Quiet, you, Michael Lerner. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth."
Yeah. That guy, obviously, okay. In the heist movies, he's the one who turns on a dime. He's like, "I say we kill every single one of them." He's the wild card. The loose cannon.
Yeah.
Like, I told you he was cool, but he's not cool. He's not. No.
I love that.
So that's the beginning of the film. That sets you up. And then you find out later in the film that not only is Peter Falk looking for the lost city of gold, but so is Julian Sands. And he has recruited Ingo Googie Gress as his guy. He went with the third best psychic.
Yeah, Julian Sands, he's apparently an avid hiker in real life, or was.
Do you want to talk about that right now?
He was an outdoorsman. He went missing last January,
2023, I think.
Oh, December 2023 or something? Or before that?
I don't know.
It was in the winter, I think. Or just before? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, they found him much later. He
like 6 months or 7 months later. He was dead.
It was a while. It was a while.
Had he fallen off a cliff or what?
I can't remember what happened, but it was an accident up there. Maybe a snow... Something happened. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah.
You sure he didn't find the lost city of gold and they're just trying to cover it up?
No, he died. It's sad. But he was in the Warlock movies. Come on.
Speaking of, what's that?
The Warlock movies. Come on.
Oh, you stole my thunder. I was going to say, there's so many great actors in this film, and Julian Sands was one of them. Now, if you don't know the Warlock movies, but if you're like mine and Match's age and our age range or a little bit younger, you might know him as the ill-fated spider doctor from Arachnophobia from 1990.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
Or 91. I can't remember which year. Yeah, remember he was, and I say ill-fated, spoiler. He's kind of like he's kind of like Hooper from Jaws, but the book version.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Hooper in the Jaws book doesn't live. But apparently Richard Dreyfuss was so charming, they just had to let his character.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. It's me, Richard.
Go.
Yeah. So it's this big shark. But yeah, so Julian Sands, great actor. He was in the Warlock movies, like you said. He was in a lot of other movies that I can't remember, but I remember one title very distinctly. He was in the movie Boxing Helena.
Oh, yeah. I actually saw that movie.
Yeah, it's about a guy who gets into bare-knuckle fights with women.
Is it?
No.
I was like, I don't remember that part.
About a doctor who sort of holds the woman hostage. He's taking care of her and he amputates her limbs. And, it's not for everybody. It's a dark love story kind of comedy. But my description isn't doing it justice. It's actually a pretty watchable film. Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. So the cast is great. You got Julian Sands. You got Peter Falk. You got Goldblum. You got Googie. You got Cyndi Lauper. Also in smaller parts, like I mentioned, you got John Capellos. You've got, I wrote it down because there's so many that I want to mention.
It's wild how many people are in this movie.
Yes,
it doesn't make sense.
And out of nowhere, probably one of his early roles is Steve Buscemi. who looks
that was
the
surprising.
same. And he looks the
he
same.
does look the same. He always looked like that. I always thought he was older than he was, I guess. You know, like.
Oh, yeah? How old is Steve Buscemi?
I don't know. He's anywhere between 35 and 65.
He's in that range, people. Like, this had to be one of his early roles, because I remember seeing him in big stuff probably before Reservoir Dogs, or maybe around that time for sure. You know, he was starting to get well-known, Living in Oblivion. He had a tiny, tiny cameo in Pulp Fiction, if you remember. He was Buddy Holly, I believe.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
But you would know Pierre Buscemi when you saw him. Pierre Buscemi.
Absolutely.
He plays one of her on-again, off-again boyfriends who begs her to use her gift so he can win at the track so he can pay a gangster. But really, he's just trying to get rich, and he walks off with a hot lady.
Yeah, Louise warns her. She's like, just give him a chance.
She's like, I want him to live.
Okay.
He needs a head to live.
Yeah.
And the woman he walks off with, did you hear the line she said? She goes, I waited forever. Someone tried to pick me up.
I think she said, I almost got picked up.
I almost got picked up. And he said, hey, not you, baby. You're classy.
Yeah, too classy for that.
Too classy for that. Yeah. Steve Buscemi.
We never see him again either. So
no, you know what? I thought you would see all these characters again, like Park Overall, or
and that's part of what makes this kind of a not a great movie, because you're just introducing things that have nothing to do with the story, and you're not moving the story along. You're not learning about your characters. You're introducing people that we never see again for no reason. Like
right.
Yeah.
And then there's a woman who tries to seduce Nick and then tries to kill him, who I guess is in league with Julian Sands. But why would she try to kill him? I don't know. But
I don't know. Woman, they never mention her, do they?
No. Well, he knocks her off a balcony, to save his life, and she dies.
Yeah.
And no one says, "Hey,
her body's gone."
Like, right?
5 minutes later, it's just gone. They're like, "Oh, I guess some goons just carried her away." Okay, why didn't we see that? Like,
do you think Julian Sands hired a body squad, like, just in case anyone dies? I mean, you to pick
probably so. She wasn't alive, I don't think, after that. But
well, in case you didn't recognize her, this was a pretty well-known actress in the 80s and early 90s, Elizabeth Pena. Did you not recognize her?
I don't think so.
I wrote down notable things. Elizabeth Pena she's still alive. She's
Pena,
a Mexican
like Pina
actress.
Colada?
No. She likes getting caught in the rain, though.
Okay.
No, Elizabeth Pena, P-E-N, little symbol, A. Elizabeth Pena, I wrote it down. She is in a whole lot. Okay, she was in like every fifth movie in the 80s. She was in Batteries Not Included. She was in La Bamba with Lou Diamond Phillips. That's right.
Okay.
She was in, she voiced Mirage in The Incredibles. You know, the assistant. Syndrome's assistant. Because I recognized her voice. I was like, is that 80s Mexican hottie Elizabeth Pena?
Wow.
She was in a lot of stuff that I watched. And the funny thing is, she was also in Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Did you ever see that with Richard Dreyfuss?
I did. I love that movie. Yeah,
she was the maid he was having an affair with.
Oh.
Because she was very cute. She's very cute.
Okay.
But you might not remember her. I do. From it might have been 2 seasons, but it was a show on ABC called I Married Dora. Do you remember this show?
No.
Okay. It might have been 1 season, it might have been 2. The premise was so romantic. It was so, fish out of water. She basically is about to go back to Mexico because her visa's expiring. So the guy that she knows marries her and she becomes his housekeeper. Or vice versa. He marries her to stay in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole premise is, will they fall in love? I Married Dora. Fridays on ABC. Yeah. I liked it, but I was also 11 or 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a long time ago. We don't have to worry about that show
Not as good as the Charmings. No. Or Homeboys from Outer Space. But yeah, Elizabeth Pena is the assassin. And also, you may not have noticed, in a very tiny blink and miss it role, as a waiter, when Jeff Goldblum falls out on the table at the psychic meeting, for some reason, he falls out on the table. That guy is Max Perlich. Now, you don't know the name. But if you've ever seen that one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, from the 2nd season, it's one of the 2 parts, he plays the demon Whistler. Do you remember that?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was in a lot of 80s stuff, like Can't Buy Me Love. He was one of the nerds.
Okay, yeah.
Had red hair, And he's in one of my wife's and her brother's favorite movies. The 80s classic, the only movie Tony Hawk was ever in and stole, Gleaming the Cube.
Oh, I love Gleaming the
Yes.
Cube. So
He was
good.
in Gleaming the Cube. He's the one who came up with the title. He was telling Christian Slater's like, "You're gleaming the cube." He's like, "I'm what? You're gleaming the cube."
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know in that movie, fun fact, when it aired on Fox, they changed the name to A Brother's Justice.
Really?
I don't know why. Because apparently my wife and her brother, this was one of those go-to movies they always watched.
Really?
Yeah. I think she had a thing for Christian Slater because it was also Pump Up the Volume.
Yeah. Oh, Pump
Yeah.
Up the Volume was great. I love that
Yeah,
movie.
it was a great movie. And me and my sister, the old What For? No, me and my sister, we had those movies too that we would just watch over and over again that we
Yeah,
loved.
yeah.
That maybe not everybody loves as much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There was so.
I
yeah,
don't see
so-
Vibes as being one of those movies. But
No.
to each their own.
Maybe as a kid.
Maybe. Yeah.
I gotta tell you though, it has a good pedigree. It was directed by Ken Kwapis. Who does that name sound familiar?
Well, no, but I looked up his many achievements, and he directed all your favorite shows, like episodes of all your favorite shows, probably.
He really did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yep. Like Parks and Recreation was one.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
See, I've heard his name a lot. Did he direct any episodes of I Married Dora?
I don't know. Didn't see it. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta say, I think the season finale of that show is where she found a talking monkey and she went off and there was this fox who kept swiping stuff. Is that the wrong Dora?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Sorry. Yeah.
So Ken Kwapis, done a lot of comedy stuff. Did he direct a lot of movies?
He did, oh gosh, what was it? She's Just Not That Into You?
He directed that?
Yeah. The only good movie in a slew of like just one-off TV shows, like
Okay.
The only other movie I think he did.
Wow,
Well,
that is funny.
but there's just a lot to go through, and I noticed that one.
Oh, yeah.
I know people
Well-
actually like that movie. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, isn't that the ensemble with like Jennifer Aniston and Drew Barrymore and Justin Long and
Is it?
lots of
Yeah,
people?
maybe.
Isn't it
Jay
based on the book
Baruchel,
by
was
that
he
one
in that,
guy?
or was that another one?
Who was in that?
Jay Baruchel? Was he in that?
Who's Jay Baruchel? Is it the guy who wrote it?
Undeclared and
Oh, I don't know if he was in that one.
Okay.
I think he
thinking
was
about something
in.
else,
He was
maybe.
in. She's out of my league. Is that what you're
Oh,
thinking?
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good movie.
That's what I was
That's a
thinking
good
of. Okay.
Yes. That's where they have that's where his best friend played by TJ. Oh gosh, what's his name? We know him, we love him.
TJ Miller.
TJ Miller. He has the Hall & Oates band and they only play Hall & Oates.
Oh, wow. I need to see
really?
that. I never saw it. So.
Oh, because there's this one scene where they're like, all right, let's get back to hearing some 80s classic. And he's like, a Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates only.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned a movie earlier that I want to do, so we got to remember the Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Really?
Because it was Disney's first adult movie under like Touchstone, whatever it was called before.
Yeah. Was it Buena Vista or Touchstone? I think you're right, Touchstone.
Yeah, Touchstone. They had Touchstone Pictures and Touchstone Studios, and they swapped at one point. But yeah.
Yes, that was their branch. They could do more adult-rated movies because that
And it
was an
did
R-rated
so
movie.
well, it like catapulted them up like immediately. Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? Technically, Disney also did Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how I know this, because when we went to Disney in 1990 in the summer for a youth group trip, they had just opened the Hollywood Studios Park, which at the time was known as the MGM. Yeah.
The
It was
one
known
I
as the
started
MGM.
working at in 2002. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, yeah, you had a good time there, I bet.
Yep.
Well, when it first opened up, not only was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle wagon come through the main street every 30 minutes, that was awesome. But they had a little ride where when you got to the end of it, they would show you a quick clip of every film that was in the Touchstone Disney Library.
Yeah.
And we saw Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, and we're like, the heck did Disney make Pretty Woman?
Yeah, and really nobody knew how directly they were making these movies, but they were directly making these movies. It wasn't a whole nother
Do you not
studio
remember-
lot.
Well, Goofy directed a few people. Okay, let's do the love scene.
Absolutely, completely directly.
Yep. So I got to mention the names of the writers. I don't think they're household names, but their names made me laugh so hard. Lovell Gans,
Yeah,
and
laughing already.
Babaloo Mandel.
Yeah, nothing funnier than a Latin name.
Babaloo?
Sounds like a Cuban name. Sorry, it sounds like something that Ricky would say on.
That is what he said. He was like,
Lucy.
Babaloo.
Yeah.
Lucy, you're crazy. But Babaloo Mandel, do you think he's related to Howard in any way?
I don't know. He could be.
Yeah, I just love that. Do you think they hired him just because they're like, hey, Babalu, can you write us something funny?
Yeah, so Pappy Babalu there.
Good old Babalu. Well, you might be thinking, okay, those guys were involved. They did some things. Would you like to know who the executive producer was?
Yes.
You're not going to believe this. You're not
I
going to
will
believe
believe this.
He was well known as a director by this time.
Uh-huh.
Opie Cunningham. Mr. Ron Howard was an executive producer.
I saw that, and I was like, how bad could it be? I've just never heard of it, and I've heard of freaking everything, you know?
I mean, producers don't necessarily have control of a movie, you know?
No.
But I feel like if you like the actor who's producing or the director, you're like, yeah, that was all them. They steered that, you know?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because, Demi Moore, she helped produce Austin Powers.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
Will Smith also produced things that you don't think Will Smith would be involved in, but I can't remember. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Feels like a slap in the face, doesn't it? But anyway, so Ron Howard, Opie was the exec producer. And this movie, like I said, at the end, Cyndi Lauper's got her hand on the pyramid and Googie Grass gets zapped off the cliff. He's dead. The other henchman, he's dead. And then a big old statue falls on Julian Sands.
Wow.
And by the way, in between this and the beginning, they have killed Peter Falk, sadly.
Yeah, they did. And,
Googie Grass throws a knife in his back.
Cyndi Lauper takes it pretty hard.
She does.
You can tell she loved him like a father.
And do you remember what his last words were?
No. Tell me.
One more thing.
No,
one more thing before
he didn't say that.
He didn't, but I was hoping he would. No, he hit on her before he died. Oh. And she's like, may you meet Louise in the afterlife. And he's like, I see you. She's beautiful.
Yeah. That was good. And then at the end, I guess, like, they see him.
Well, okay. Yeah, well, I was going to say, okay, sort of, yeah. And, so Louise sacrifices herself, her spirit self, to get Cyndi Lauper off the pyramid and save the day. Which I still don't understand what any of that means.
I don't think she sacrificed herself so much as, like, went to a higher plane.
Well, that's what I was going to say. She sacrificed her ghost self.
Yeah.
So she obviously, I'm not going to use the words that they use in the show Ghosts to describe how they go to heaven, but you've seen it.
Did he get sucked off, or did he go?
That's when you go to heaven, and then when you go to hell, I'm not going to say it.
You go down on someone. Yeah.
Yes, pretty much. They
went down on them. Yeah. I love that.
And every time they say that, the ghost Trevor, he's like,
yeah.
He's like the only one,
he did that on purpose.
He did. He probably coined the phrase. But yeah, so Luis goes to a higher plane to heaven, whatever. And all of a sudden, as Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum finally realize they like each other, they do have a bit of a love-hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she kind of likes him, and he's like, oh, you're getting on my nerves. All of a sudden, she goes, wait, there's someone in here with us. And he's like, who? And she goes, Harry. And that's how it is.
It just freezes, and that's over.
And Jeff Goldblum gets the weirdest smile on his face, like, yeah.
Yeah, he does. I noticed that.
Like,
I was excited. I do stand this ending. I do.
Really?
I really like the ending. That's cute. How else was it supposed to end? There was not another memorable moment in it. There were no memorable lines, really. There's some funny happenstance that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some slapstick.
I don't know. I'm really glad we got to watch it, because we watch movies we love all the time. Like, we don't get to watch something that was so mid, we don't even know what to think about it. Like,
and I was so hoping that this would be like an undiscovered gem, that I'd be like,
yeah.
Like when I finally started watching Scrubs, like years later after it premiered, I'm like, oh my gosh, why was I not watching this?
Yeah, well, I remember being over at a friend's house in 2000 and something. I guess when the second season was airing.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was at a friend's house and like, hey, Scrubs is on. We're gonna watch Scrubs. I'm like, what is that? And so I got in it pretty early just because someone showed it to me. I was like, this is magical.
Right?
Yeah.
See, I told you this story before, but for some reason our Dish Network only allowed us a certain number of networks, and I had to decide between NBC and the WB.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. And at the time, I was like, Buffy's on, Angel's on. I got to record those shows.
NBC. Man, I'm seeing all these shows that are out now, and there's not a lot of good shows anymore.
On networks?
On networks. I mean, they're okay. They're not like they used to be.
No, it's not like appointment TV where you're like, dude, I got to get home.
Yeah. All that stuff's on the streamers now, I guess. But
yeah, I guess so. Like, I can watch it anytime.
Yeah, you get something as deep as like Law and Order, you're in for a treat, I guess, on network TV.
Hey, you know what's funny about that? Did I tell you? I told you the only difference between British Law and Order and American Law and Order, right?
I don't know. What was it?
Well, they've got the they've got the lawyers, they've got the cops. Okay, the only thing besides the accent that's different, when they go to trial, the lawyers are wearing the powdered wigs and the robes.
Really?
That's the only. That's how you know you're watching Law and Order UK.
That's hilarious.
It is so hilarious. The men and the women, they're like, okay, let's talk about where you were the 13th of February. Right. But no, I mean, there's some good TV shows. There's some gems out there. I remember back in 95 when Friends was the huge must-see show and the second season was about to premiere. And I was a freshman at OBU.
Yeah.
And I am walking the campus at 6:55. And I'm seeing, I guess we'd all eat dinner at the same time. I'm seeing kids, men, boys and girls, dashing to dorms, literally running down sidewalks. I'm like, what's going on? The guy was like, it's 5 minutes to the premiere of Friends. I gotta go.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding, because most of them didn't have VCRs in their rooms, and even if they did.
Yeah, I think I've told you about my roommate from Disney. He was a huge Bruce Willis fan. He had every single Bruce Willis movie on DVD except for like 2. It was like North and Look Who's Talking, or whatever.
What? I mean, Look Who's Talking? North I can understand.
Yeah. He wanted to get it. He just hadn't got it yet. Is the thing.
That's funny. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't the taste thing.
Yeah, and I think I bought him Breakfast of Champions while we were there. I was like, here you go, buddy.
Okay.
Here's your
Kurt
present,
Vonnegut.
But he discovered Friends while we were there. So this is fall of 2002. This is well after Friends had started. And so he's like watching it every day. When we get home, he's just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then we get to see, was it Rachel's father?
No.
Who is it?
It was the father of the college student that Ross was dating.
Yes, and it was
Bruce
Willis. And so it was kind of like his thesis was complete or something. Like he was like, oh my God. And I completely forgot that he was on it. Like, but we finally came around to that. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this. This is coming. Like,
so was that his peanut butter meets chocolate moment? Like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Like I got to see the joy on his face.
Before we wrap up this movie, quick side note on that. My wife is a huge Friends fan. And she read, I don't know what website she was on. She said, I read one of the dumbest fun facts about Friends. Apparently, this fun fact is Chandler and Joey claim to be huge fans of Die Hard. But when Bruce Willis is on the show, they don't recognize him. It's because he wasn't playing Bruce Willis.
I know.
That's an actual fun fact somewhere. I don't know where.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not fun.
They just love it.
I guess we got to wrap up this movie. Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we talked about this little nothing burger for far too long today.
I kind of thought we would. Hey, I will say Cyndi Lauper did okay. Did some movies and some TV shows. I forgot to mention she was a huge part of wrestling. I know I talk about wrestling. She was a huge part of wrestling in the 80s. She was actually she was part of the Rock and Wrestling Connection, which is what they called the era in the early to mid 80s. Hulk Hogan. She was actually the fake manager of a women's wrestler named Wendy Richter. Wow. And she was at the very first WrestleMania. And
that's crazy.
She had some storylines where she would manage Wendy Richter, and Wendy Richter would fight Fabulous Moolah, who was managed by Captain Lou Albano, who you may not remember had a cameo as her dad in the Girls Just Want to Have Fun music video.
Oh.
You may or may not know that. You were probably not a huge wrestling fan of the 80s. Maybe? I mean, I remember the Hulk Hogan cartoon, the Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cyndi Lauper was a huge part of Rock and Wrestling and all that. Apparently her manager was a huge wrestling fan, and he was like, I gotta make this happen.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, though. I didn't know that. Yeah.
She would have wrestlers in her music videos, like for the Goonies video. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah. I was going to say, like, there wasn't much trivia about this movie that I could find.
No.
Not really, but I know that Jeff Goldblum's character was almost played by Dan Aykroyd.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Dan Aykroyd did not want to work with Cyndi Lauper when they met, I guess, is what I heard.
How rude.
I know, it's kind of rude. Yeah, he didn't care. Yeah, he was like, he's bigger than her. I'm not going to put words in his mouth. But yeah, somebody asked her if like the stuff that she wore on set was it like something she would wear in real life or something like that, and she said no, this stuff is way too subdued for me.
That's true. That's true. She said the character was a little bit like her, but a little bit not, a little flaky.
Yeah.
If you can find on YouTube, there's like a 2-minute, 3-minute interview with her at the time where she's talking about the character.
Oh, really? Cool. Yeah, I missed that.
Kind of fun.
Missed that completely. Yeah.
Well, speaking of stretching a nothing burger, we're gonna rate this movie.
Okay.
You want to go first?
I do want to go first.
Okay, I'm ready for that 5-star review. Let's go.
I'm going to give it.
I can't wait.
I got to give it 2 psychic pyramids out of 5.
That is fair.
I mean, I hate to. Their performances were just as good as they were supposed to be in this movie.
Yes. That's the only thing that kept me glued was their performances and some of the one-liners.
Cyndi Lauper, you are an actress. I don't care what anyone tells you. You are a singer. You are an actress.
Yeah.
You probably dance. You're a triple threat lady.
Probably dance.
I think you do. I don't know for sure.
She writes plays. That's a quadruple threat.
She could get an EGOT if she doesn't already have one. I'm just saying.
I don't know if she's ever won an Emmy or an Oscar, but I don't know.
Oh, dang. It's never too late.
Well, my
or
score
Tony,
is
or...
it's never too late. You're right about that. John Legend's got one. There's a few others,
Yeah.
So I think Rita Moreno probably has one, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, gotta love her. Well,
who knew?
Speaking of love, who knew? My rating is about the same as yours. I'm giving it 2 Googies out of 5 Googies. It's enjoyable to watch in the background. Maybe you don't watch it over and over again. Maybe you don't buy it. Speaking of which, it's streaming for free on Tubi, right?
Yep,
if you want to give it a chance.
If you're interested in 80s pop culture at all, you're just going to give this a go just because you want to put that, you want to have that in your mind somewhere. You want to be able to pull it up when somebody asks, hey, what's a movie you haven't heard of from the 80s? That might not be very good, but I don't care. You're going to say vibes.
It might not be very good, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, maybe someone out there listening will really love this movie. And there are some movies that like suspend disbelief and things don't work out. Like the Monster Squad I love the Monster Squad, but it's got a lot of pieces that don't fit together. And you're wondering, why is this happening? And wait, how is that person there? But I don't care because I love the movie.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So vibes, give it a chance on Tubi. Watchable. It's free.
Do what you want to do.
You go. Yep. Well, that was our review of The Best, as they say in France. And now, as they say in France, parlez-vous? Oui, oui. Ha ha. Ma ha ha ha. Am I right? And that translates to... What's our next section?
Shannon sings a little song.
I do. Yes, I do. I have a song inspired by this film. Every episode, I try to do a little song, either a theme song for the show or a theme song that's related to the film.
Yeah, try's a good word for that.
What's that?
Try's a good word for that, yes.
Okay, yeah. Try attempts. You're right, I do my best to be mediocre. I try to rise above, but not too far. So I think you're going to like tonight's song. It's very inspired. I wrote the music myself. It's completely original.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I think.
All right, get your rubber bands around your goatee. Get your hair dye. Put on your big jelly bracelets. I woke up to a lady ghost. She won't stop complaining because she thinks she smells burnt toast. I got no rest. Always on the run. Because being psychic ain't much fun. Being psychic isn't much fun. There's that Goldblum guy. He's jaded and quirky. Man, I loved him in The Fly. Then Columbo says, we gotta locate something. Being psychic ain't much fun. Being psychic ain't much fun. So we really go to find gold. Julian Sands has got a gun. Being psychic ain't much fun. Come on, matches. Being psychic ain't much fun. I don't wanna watch this movie. Won't wanna. Oh, there you go. I she-bopped until I couldn't she-bop any longer.
Did you? Did you?
Hey, I thought it was good enough. I'm so unusual.
Wow.
Did I show my true colors on that one?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh, well. Hey, if I was falling, would you catch me?
If you were on fire, I wouldn't spit on you to put you out. I'm just kidding.
That's an insult I've heard. Yes.
It's a classic.
It is. All right. So we've done that. And now everyone's favorite part of the show. If your favorite part of the show is getting close to the end, it's time for the video movie corner pick of the week. Yes. Oh, sorry. Nice wind down. Brought to you by our new sponsor, Capital 2. Capital 2, the only bank located behind a Waffle House you'll ever need. Capital 2, what's in your wallet? No, seriously. What's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet?
No, I'm serious. I have a gun. What's in your wallet?
Oh, well, not much. You're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, I know, right? A Blockbuster card?
Ooh, you wish.
I do. So this is the part of the show where Matches and I, we choose. Well, tell them how it goes. I like your description much better than anything I could say.
Well, this is the part of the show where we visit the little movie corner down the street, and we pick a video movie corner pick of the week for you to enjoy. It could be outside of the realm of Siskel and Ebert. Usually it is before or after their shows that we will watch, just because we want to say, hey, I like this. Check it out if you haven't seen it. And if you do like it, good for you.
If you don't, we don't ever want you to listen to our show again. I'm kidding. We do. Yes, we do. We totally do. All right. Would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I don't care. What do you want to do?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Well, my pick is a comedy film that probably didn't do as well as Vibes. Maybe did, maybe not. It was kind of under the radar. Came out in 1992. Yeah, I know you're going to love this. And you may have seen it. If you haven't seen it, you should do yourself a favor and find it online. Okay. It is a movie that I believe was the directorial debut of everyone's favorite crazy police cadet from Police Academy, Bobcat Goldthwait. I made a movie. Oh. It's a movie called Shakes the Clown from 1992. You don't know this movie, do you?
I know the name, but I've never seen it.
Yes! Yeah. It's a movie that I never would have seen if I didn't have Showtime. Okay. I saw it like 4 years later on a weekend I was home from college. I was like, why did I never rent this movie? I know what you're thinking.
Death to Smoochie?
Much funnier than Death to Smoochie. I'm sorry. I know people love that
Death
movie.
To Smoochie. I love it.
It was okay.
I know it didn't do well, but I loved it.
It was like it tried too hard to be a dark comedy instead of a dark comedy.
I guess so, yeah. Hey, Smoochie!
Smoochie! I mean, there were parts that were funny. Robin Williams can do no wrong. He's in bad movies. Yeah, Edward. Yeah.
So what's the Shakes the Clown all about?
I'm glad you asked. Shakes the Clown is about the scene. Now, this is where you gotta just go in all in. It is a comedic look at the seedy underbelly of the clown world, where they pretty much keep their makeup on 24/7. And they are clowns. They entertain children. They entertain people. But Shakes has a problem with alcohol, waking up with loose women. At the very beginning of the movie, he has woken up after a one-night stand with Florence Henderson from the Brady Bunch in a negligee. That is how you know this movie is going to go where it's going to go. Wow. It's R-rated. There's cuss words. So, yeah, it's basically there's a clown bar. And you will not believe the cast in this film, okay? When I say Adam Sandler, I mean Adam Sandler in an early movie role as one of his sidekicks. It's hilarious. Sometimes you don't know the actor because of the makeup, but Adam Sandler's in it. I cannot remember his name, but he's in a lot of Adam Sandler movies. His name is Blake Clark, I think. He's a Southern guy. You know, he was Drew Barrymore's dad in 50 First Dates.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
He took over the voice of Slinky Dog from the late great Ernest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Varney. Yep. So he's in it. Aunt Esta from Sanford and Son is in it as a clown.
Yeah.
There is a cameo by Robin Williams, an uncredited cameo as Jerry the Mime. See, in the world of Shakes the Clown, clowns and mimes are bitter enemies. Because clowns, they even, as they're driving around town, they see mimes and they go out and they beat them up and they fight them. And as they drive off, Adam Sandler yells out, "Learn how to speak." Okay? And you're not going to believe this, but the main villain is a guy named Binky the Clown. And do you know who he's played by? In one of his few movie roles, Tom Kenny, a.k.a. the voice of SpongeBob, plays Binky the Clown.
Whoa.
Now,
That's
before
cool.
before SpongeBob, I knew him as the co-host of Friday Night Videos in the early 90s. Tom Kenny. Oh, yeah. He was also on Mr. Show. I mean, Tom Kenny's great.
Yeah,
he's not
voice
just SpongeBob.
ever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's on everything.
Yeah. He's going to be coming to Arkansas Comic-Con, by the way, again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
When I looked, there wasn't very many people on there. Are they going to put more on there?
Well, they've been adding some more every day. They've got wrestlers like Kurt Angle's going to be there.
Yeah,
And Lou Diamond Phillips, Jason Patrick.
Saw that, yeah.
They have announced a lot. The voice of Ariel, Jodie Benson.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's her name? Ginny Weasley from Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty good. Pretty good.
I love that the Harry Potter kids are like all in their 40s now. So, you know.
That's true. Just like the actors were when they filmed the third film. So anyway, Shakes the Clown is hilarious. You have to be in the mood. It's kind of a dark comedy, but it's very funny. I think you should give it a chance. You could probably find it streaming somewhere.
Okay.
I think it's an underrated classic. I feel like it's a cult classic because REM got the title of one of their songs from their 1996 album, Binky the It's something about Binky. Binky the Doormat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually on Tubi and Pluto right now.
Nice. Watch it right now after the show. Yeah, because
and
Binky...
the Roku channel. Yeah.
Yep. There's other people you recognize in the movie. And I enjoy the heck out of this movie. I can watch it anytime. Julie Brown is in it as Shake's girlfriend.
Downtown Julie Brown or the other Julie Brown?
No, not
downtown?
the British one.
Okay.
Not Wubba Wubba Wubba.
Oh my God.
But redhead Julie Brown. The other Julie Brown from MTV.
Yeah. That's exciting.
And occasionally they would meet. It'd be amazing.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Shakes the Clown from 1992, Bobcat Goldthwait. Probably the best movie he's ever directed because he's directed a few more. I would say this was the best. Yeah. I like it. Go see it. Right
the
now.
Best?
Man, this movie is so much more funnier than you think it's going to be.
Okay. I don't know why I just never really knew about it. I don't know.
Yeah, just the idea of like a clown world, where they're always in makeup and character. It's hilarious. Yeah. Yep. A clown bar. So there you go. What is your video movie pick of the week? It ain't going to be as good as Shakes the Clown.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, it's going to be better.
I don't know. It depends on who you are.
Okay. I'm all headphones.
Okay, I'm actually making sure this actress is in what I thought she was. Okay.
Oh,
yeah, that's true. Okay. My video movie corner pick of the week this week is a movie that I don't think I've done before. If I have, that's fine. I'll just do it again because I really like it. And I'm really starting to forget what we've all done on this. We've done this for so long now, you know?
I know. Are we going to do Basic Instinct again and not know it?
I figured like we might do that again since we have everything down and we have the sound a little better, I think we're better at talking to each other and podcasting. We might have to do it because I really like that movie a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And anyway, that is my video movie corner pick of the week. I'm just kidding. It's not.
It's Basic Instinct 2, kids.
One week I did Hereditary by Ari Aster, and I have to say that one of my very favorite movies of his is called Beau is Afraid.
I don't know if you've done this one, but go ahead, do it again.
Beau is Afraid is a Joaquin Phoenix vehicle.
You mean Joaquin?
Yeah, whatever you're saying. This is an anxiety-filled thrill ride from beginning to end, and it's a very personal film for Ari Aster. This movie is over 3 hours long.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, it stars. Are you ready?
Leaf Phoenix.
And there's so many people in this. I'm just gonna go through some of them, but
I'm not ready.
We got Joaquin Phoenix. We got Patti LuPone in one of my favorite roles I've ever seen her in. This is
Besides
so
Life
good.
Goes On.
Yeah. Besides Life Goes On and Wicked, probably. Was she in Wicked? I don't know. Anyway.
She was in Agatha all along, but go ahead.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was good in that. Amy Ryan. Do you know this name?
Yeah, is she, what's her name from The Office?
Yeah, Holly from The Office.
Holly, yes, she's very funny.
She's in this. Nathan Lane is in this.
What?
Yeah, Parker Posey is in this. A lot of people you might recognize. Richard Kind. Yep,
I love Richard Kind.
Yeah, do you know Julian Richings?
Yes, actually, I do, and I'm not just saying that to pander. Yes. He's
kind of the weird looking guy that's in stuff.
Yes, he does a lot of TV work. He was a demon in Supernatural for several seasons.
Yes, exactly. He
shows up in a lot of sci-fi TV shows.
Yeah, Bill Hader's in it too.
Bill Hader?
A lot of people. Yeah, Bill Hader's in it. It's kind of an, I want to say it's kind of like a hero's journey through this man with very intense problems and he's been through a lot of emotional abuse, and this movie is kind of a monument to that, and it's hard to explain because it's all over the place. It's almost like a crazy painting. I can't describe this movie with words. It's so cool, and I'm so glad I got to see it, and I definitely want to watch it again sometime. But I recommend it to everyone as the Video Movie Corner pick of the week.
So, from what I know about this movie, there are fantastic weird things that happen. Is it sci-fi? Is it horror? Or is it more psychological? Or is it like Naked Lunch, where you're just like, what the heck, I'll accept it?
Yes.
Okay, so more twists and turns than The Stupids with Tom Arnold?
Yes. Yeah.
As scary as
I don't know how to describe it.
Dead?
You just have to see it with it's a feast for your eyes. It is an art piece is what it is.
Well, I was about to say, I don't mean this rude. Is it artsy? But enjoyable artsy?
Maybe. Yes.
Okay.
It's so different. I just want people to see it and say,
yeah, Bo was afraid.
I watched it, and I'm glad we got to talk about this together. You know.
Me too. And I'm going to check it out now that you've recommended it. When I have 3 hours free, I'm going to check out this movie. That sounds pretty fun.
Oh, I was going to check out your recommendation from last week. What was it again?
Oh, Cripes. Was it Trapped? No, it was Trapped.
Yeah, Trapped. No, that was Trapped. I was thinking of something else, though. Anyway, whatever. I found something that you had recommended maybe a couple weeks ago or something.
I know. I've been trying to write yours down. I was like, I got to.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, there it is. And I know I got to go back and remember what it is. So
Nice. Well, that was me and Matches giving you a heaping helping of
the Video Movie Corner pick of the
week. Brought to you in Technicolor. Hello, Matches. It's a pleasure to be here. I have a display I want to show for you. It's psychic powers, if you will, not psycho, not like the movie, but it's powers. I can touch an object and tell you where it's been. Okay.
Like, sure, Shannon. I'm ready to hear this.
No, I don't think you are. I don't think you're ready, Freddy. But this object was used in a horrible murder. This object caused much death and destruction and confusion one time. So this Bart Simpson keychain is not anything you want to trifle with. Also, this one object right here was used when I was trapped in a computer, and it was kind of exciting. There were lots of lights, and I was trying my best. And this is I can feel it. Yes. Oh, this has a lot of history to it. Oh my gosh, this object right here. This object has many uses. It was on a skinny nerd who danced. It was I believe it was the guy who was in Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared and knocked up. I'm starting to feel it. Yep. Oh no, it's a tribble. It's a tribble. It's a tribble from Star Trek.
Cool.
The sex object. This is this is Shannon's fork that he uses to eat. That is
wow. Just shovels it in there. Connection. Yeah, I see that, buddy.
I do too. Oh my gosh, this book I see much lessons about trying new things, also recipes. Oh my gosh, one more thing. Oh geez. This is something that I have never used. I got it from Shannon. It's never been used. And one more thing.
What Louise? What are you saying?
I don't know. But I have one more thing to show you. Not only can I touch objects, and get their feelings, I can also create fire. I'm a pyrokinetic. That's right.
Is that just a battery-powered little flame?
Life finds a way.
Okay.
I also had these, but I couldn't think of what to do with my little falsies.
Oh, that's too bad.
No.
You know what? I can't find my Bart Simpson keychain. I don't know where it is. Yeah.
Maybe I have it, Matches. Maybe it's in my hand. Maybe this is where.
Maybe. I haven't seen it in a
reality
while.
meets the
It was
road.
supposed to be over
Stretch-a-rama.
here.
Stretch mark. Oh no! You gotta have it for the podcast, or else our powers won't unite.
Oh my gosh! I gotta find that for real.
Great. This episode's gonna be terrible.
Yeah,
just kidding. This episode's gonna be
I
great.
got my cow. I got my little.
Oh, hey, cow.
My little squeaky cow.
Aw. Well, speaking of moving on.
Yep. Exactly.
We have had a good time talking about a little obscure movie that is probably on the video shelf of life.
A real dandy. Yes.
Yeah, we had fun talking about it. I figure every now and then you wanted to throw in a movie that neither one of us has seen and maybe haven't heard of or is kind of obscure.
If possible, yeah. Even if it's bad, like that's great. No, it's fine.
Oh, bad is good. I have a love of bad cinema. I'm okay with that. I think Pootie Tang is a classic.
Yeah. We'll just have to figure out how to get y'all to click on this if you don't know what it is. That's going to be the...
That's right.
Yeah.
And maybe you have suggestions as a listener/watcher of movies you'd like us to do that Siskel and Ebert do. It's got to be anywhere from 81 to 2003, 2004.
Yeah. Well, normally we change. We aim for 1986 to 2005 or 6 or so. They don't have so many of the later Ebert and Roper things. For some reason, they're not out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe they're taken down through copyright strikes. Maybe that's a little newer. Yeah, something like that. That's what I'm kind of thinking, but I don't see him so much. So the later stuff and earlier stuff, yeah.
I'm not worried about copyrights. Just do it. Where's the beef?
Go ahead and comment down below what you want to see. What you want to see next.
The real
your
thing.
Favorite 80s, 90s, and early 2000s movie. Come on.
I'll have what he's having. Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, comment and where can they find us?
They can find us down below in the comment section. Wherever you are. If it's YouTube, are you watching us on Spotify? Spotify is great. If you have Spotify free, you can still listen to all the podcasts free of charge. They just have their own ads, that you can... I wouldn't recommend skipping them. That would be wrong. But you know how we do. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're also on Gmail. If you want to send us an email, give us some pointers, give us some movies, whatever. nomspodcast@gmail.com. Maybe we'll even have merch, if there's a demand for it in the future. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe I can get my wife to order some more.
Yeah, those are cool.
I gotta say, this was a birthday present for my wife, and I've just never... like I told you, I teared up. I was so happy.
Really?
I was like, oh!
That's the biggest surprise. Like, the nicest surprise I've ever seen anyone get. And, yeah, you didn't even tell us when you got on. You just let us see it.
That's right. I waited until we started the show, and you and the producer were like, what?
What are you wearing? Oh, my God. That's so great.
That's right. It is Alfred Molina. And, no.
Yeah.
It's a little Alfred Molina. We like Alfred Molina. Yeah. Well, I predict that this show is about to end. Oh my gosh. Matches. I see something. I see something horrible.
What's
in
that,
the future?
Louise?
Well, Louise has told me that if you are eating from Taco Bell, you should probably not.
Nom nom nom.
Nom nom nom.